Morning folks, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome on board the MV Alfred this morning as we're on our way to the Isle of Arran. It's been a bit of a morning with the ride down to Troon being in the pouring rain and the pitch dark, which made for slow progress. For me to get to the check-in point, we told this.
So check-in shut about 16 minutes ago.
But after a quick radio call to the crew, I was allowed to head down to the ship, and they boarded me, and then the crew strapped the bike down to the deck. So here we are, we're on board the MV Alfred, and we're on our way over to the Isle of Arran. Now this was supposed to be the MV Glen Sannox, but apparently it's got mechanical problems and it's off the run. So we're on board the MV Alfred, which is a stand-in ferry from Pentland Ferries. A much smaller ferry, and as you can see as the lights just starting to come up, we are moving about quite a bit. It's a wee bit choppy out here. So I've literally just watched the bike fall over, and I can't get to it because of that locked door. So some crew members have showed up and they're trying to move the bike, or stand the bike up, get it back into position. Right, so now this other guy's showed up, and it looks like he's taking note of damage, or he's taking photographs of the bike, so I assume that there's damage somewhere. Right, they've came up to get me, and I'm going down to the cab deck to have a look and see what the damage is. I don't want to video the crew of the conversation that we're having, because I don't know where this will go from here. But I'm going to have a wee look at the bike and see what sort of damage there is. Right, less than ideal, and not how I expected the first time of me taking the bike on a ferry to go. We took some photographs there, and the guy said he's going to file a report, so I'm getting off. This is us arriving in Brodick. I had a whole sort of plan for arriving here, but I'm just going to see if I can find a parking space so that we can have a proper look at the bike, and I can document the damage and try and sort out what's going on with the luggage. So here we are, we've just stepped off the ferry and we're in the Calmac car park here in Brodick. So we've got the front beak that's identified as smashed, looks like it's snapped off. The headlight bracket, you can see the paint on it from where it's hit the deck of the bulkhead. Visor looks alright, but the headlight looks like it's, the front of it's actually smashed. Looks like the casing's smashed as well. The bracket that secures the luggage boxes is damaged somehow. I don't know if it's bolts that have been bent or something, but the box is able to move and come free from the bike. Dash bars are a wee bit scratched up, but everything else looks alright. I think it's just the luggage, the crash bar, headlight and the front beak. Right, Calmac, not off to a great start. That's the first time I've taken the bike on a ferry and it falls over and gets damaged. Quite disappointing, but let's see how your customer services follow up with it after the damage report's filed. But it looks like I need a new front beak, a new headlight, and possibly repairs to the luggage brackets. Right, let's get moving. This is not what you came here to watch, is it? So the Isle of Arran, located in the Firth of Clyde. Now, I have to be honest with you, I don't quite know what to expect over here because I don't recall ever being here before, although my mum assures me that I was here as a child. Sometimes referred to as Scotland in miniature because of its landscapes that reflect both the Highlands and the Lowlands. And the reason for that is that the island is split in half by the Highland boundary fault line that runs across the Scottish mainland. As you can see, it's turning out to be a typical wet Scottish autumn day, and there's a lot of debris all over the road. It's about a 60-mile round trip around the coastal road, which should include castles, caves, beaches, waterfalls and of course Whisky. So I'm starting the journey by heading south from Brodick with the intention of the first stop being Eas Mor. So let's get down there I will apologise in advance for the quality of some of the video footage, because I assume that the rain that's come on is going to affect the lens on the camera. Anyway, let's get down there and see what we can find. So this should be the car park for the walk to the Eas Mor Waterfall, and I'm told that that is a cafe there on my left, so hopefully we'll be able to get a wee caffeine injection. So we're in the right place, but everything looks closed at the moment. Now I suppose the good news is that it is Monday and that the place will be open at 10 o'clock, but it's only about 8:30 at the moment, so we'll take a walk up the hill to see if we can find a waterfall, and then hopefully it'll be open by the time we get back down. So I just got talking to a guy there outside the cafe, one of the guys that work here, or at least I hope he is, because he took my helmet off me. He said he's got a bandit in the shed. That's what I love about the whole biking community thing, you know. He sees that I rock up on a bike and immediately wants to interact, and then does me the favour of taking my helmet and putting it inside the cafe, so I don't have to carry it up this hill, because as you can hear, I'm already out of breath. I think I'm going to have to get this undone and unzipped. Way hotter than I thought it was going to be. Right, so that was the Eas Waterfall. So now we're continuing along this track. We're going to see if we can find the secret library, as it's called. And this is something I knew nothing about until I went searching on Google, so let's see if we can find it. Don't quite know what to make of this. It's quite something. The whole structure, the walls, the roof, everything's covered in these pictures that have been made by kids. Quite incredible, actually. And then there's a whole load of books over on the side there as well. A whole load of pens and pencils and stuff for kids to make their drawings. A visitor's book, so Let's get my name in it. 6th of October 25. Aye, that's quite something. I wasn't really sure what to expect from that, but that's quite amazing. That I'm surprised that I'm the only person up here. I know it is a Monday morning, but you know, surprised all the same. I dare say that when the sun's out, it would be quite a popular little spot. But if you're on Arran, get yourself to the Eas Mor Waterfall and take a visit to the library in the woods. Right, let's head back down the hill and hopefully the café will be open by now and I can get some breakfast and a wee injection of caffeine. So it looks like it might be the first customer of the day. The menu's more foodie food than I was hoping for. I was just looking for a bacon roll or something for breakfast. So I've opted just to go for a wee bit of cake and a cappuccino. You don't notice it at first when you come in, but the walls in here, the decor on the walls, this is all actually engraven into the woodwork. It's quite impressive and not something I think I've seen anywhere else. Quite something. Right, sugar and caffeine in the blood. Time to get this thermal line out of here because I'm absolutely roasting, and we'll get moving on. That is quite a hill you've just pedalled up there, mate, rather you than me. Fair play to you. Right, we're just going to get moving along here. We're just heading down to the coast where there is apparently a prehistoric footprint. So I've made a wee bit of a disappointing faux pas on this one. Right out there in front of me there's a dinosaur footprint that they reckon is over 200 million years old. I had hoped to get to see that one and share it with my nephew Emmett because he's a big dinosaur fan. But with this level of tide, I'm just not going to be able to see it. Sorry Emmett, maybe next time. Right, so we're back up on the main coast road and the next stop is going to be the Lagg Distillery. So I've just pulled into an empty car park and got talking to a chap that works here, and he's told me that the distillery is actually shut on a Monday. Said I can still have a wee walk around and have a look through the windows, etc. So I'm going to drop a few facts about the Lagg Distillery as we have a wee look. So it's owned by the Isle of Arran distillers. They own both distilleries on the island, and this one only opened in 2019 with a focus on making or producing peated whisky. A very modern building with clear views towards the copper stills inside. Normally when it's open they've got a cafe bar inside as well as doing the usual tours and tastings. So if you're over here and it's not a Monday, get yourself down here and have a wee explore through the Lagg Distillery. Right, so far my dinosaur footprint's been under the tide and the Lagg Distillery's shut. The chap I spoke to said that quite a lot of places are shut on a Monday on Arran, so that's something to bear in mind if you're coming across, but it probably explains why the roads have been so quiet. So continuing on, we've gone round the southern tip of the island and we're going to head up the west coast towards the King's Caves. Now this walk was actually one of the things that I wanted to do today, but it's already 1 o'clock and time's running away from me, so I don't think I'm going to manage it. It's 3 miles it says, so it says allow 1.5 hours, which I think is probably, even if I did it faster than that, it's just not going to be enough time for me to complete the rest of the journey and make the ferry on time, which is a bit unfortunate. So the story goes that after Robert the Bruce had suffered defeat at the hands of the English, he came to Arran and was hiding out in the caves that are over on the coast ahead of me here. And it was in those caves that he watched a spider repeatedly fail to spin a web. It would spin it and fail and spin it and fail and spin it and fail until eventually it spun it and succeeded. And from that, Bruce learned that if you fail and you fail, you try again. And then he went back to the mainland and eventually successfully beat the English at the Battle of Bannockburn. Now, whether or not these caves are the actual ones where he hid out and whether that story with the spider is actually true is open to debate. But it's a good story and a good legend, and I'm a bit gutted actually that I'm not going to get to make it over to the caves today, but maybe I'll come back and I'll try it again. Right, let's get back and oh, there's a wee robin, look. I used to always think that you only got them in the winter, but obviously not. Alright buddy, just having a wee rest on top of my helmet. What are you saying? Well, I'm going to have to get my helmet back. So this is us just approaching the town of Lochranza on the north end of the island, and just in the distance here on the left you can see Lochranza Castle, so we're going to pull in here and have a quick look. So Lochranza Castle started its life about 700 years ago they reckon, around about 1300. It was used by Robert the Bruce in 1306 and later used by King James IV. But by the 1700s it was reported as being abandoned, and now it's pretty much locked off and it's just cared for by the Historic Environment Scotland. Right, quickly moving along the road, next stop is the Lochranza Distillery. In 1995 this became the first legal distillery on Arran in over 150 years. So as far as distilleries go, I don't think it's that old. Rebranded as the Lochranza Distillery and flying the Arran name. I think that was done when they opened up the Lagg Distillery down south, because they're both owned by Arran distillers. Up here they're producing unpeated single malt, and if you pay them a visit, there is a visitor centre and a shop inside, so we're going to pop in there and I'm going to have a look at what they've got and hopefully pick up something tasty. So that was the Arran Lochranza Distillery, and if you were paying attention there, you'll see I picked up a bottle of port cask single malt, so I'll be looking forward to cracking that open when I get home. Onwards we go, back along towards Brodick where we started, or where we arrived on the ferry, and we've got one more stop to make, and that is the infamous Arran Cheese Shop. Right, that's a good sign on my left there, cheese shop, sign shows that it's open, so we're going to pop in here. I've got to say quickly that road that we just came round there, that was pretty nice. I think that's the nicest stretch of road that we've been on since we've been on the island. That was pretty decent, helped by the fact that the rain stopped, of course. Anyway, the Arran Cheese Shop. Since 1991, this family-run shop's been crafting artisan cheddars in bold and interesting flavours, things like whisky, chilli, smoked garlic and various others. It's pretty cool. You've got wax coated cheese wheels getting produced in the back of the shop here, and you can peek through the big window and see the cheesemakers at work using local milk on site. I've picked myself up a wheel of cheddar with claret, one with chilli and one with ginger, as well as a wee box of oatcakes. Right folks, that's me done with the Isle of Arran. I just came straight to the ferry terminal. I decided not to bother with the cafe because I was running a bit low on time, so I thought I'd get here a wee bit early, so I just jumped into a co-op and got myself a wee set of chicken balls or whatever they are, and a wee cold coffee. And now I'm just sitting here waiting on the ferry to come in because it's not actually here yet. I'd hoped to get to Brodick Castle on the way back, but again, time not on my side. and the King's Cave, which was a bit unfortunate. I never got to do that, but I'll need to come back for that one. If that's going to be like a 2-hour hike, an hour and a half hike, I think it was. Right, I'll leave you here for now. Thanks for watching. The next one to come up will be the Mulligan and Campbelltown. I've actually got a distillery tour booked down there, so make sure to check back for that. If you like watching this stuff, please hit like, please think about subscribing, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Thanks.